Hey everyone, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us on this journey to the unknown. Where will tomorrow take us? It's almost like a sci-fi movie. Anyway, we're approaching the 4th of July soon, and being a red, white, and blue kind of guy and love for America and our founding fathers and our founding documents and what made this country from the beginning, I often struggle with where we are today, uh, earthly speaking. It's not any questions as to from a faith perspective, but just from the American journey of how we were founded, where God was an important part of our founding documents from our uh, original forefathers. But I look around at where we are today, and as time passes and as I age, I guess it's more and more of narrowing down to specifically where the problems are coming from, and internally, and sometimes it can be a bit of a struggle, uh, kind of a head scratcher, if you will. You know, I mentioned to you before about two really good friends that Miss Lucy and I have from here in our community. They're both doctors, and they're both from India, and they're U.S. citizens, of course. But it's such a joy spending time with them because, for a lot of reasons, they're good people, and we enjoy spending time and laughing with them and playing games and things of that nature and breaking bread. But when we get on the discussion of America, they glow. They absolutely glow. Their love for our country, but their in-depth knowledge of how this country was founded and their respect for it and their respect for our Constitution and their respect for our flags and why we fly. It's their flags too. It's their Constitution too, because they are citizens now. And last week, um, Miss Lucy and I, when we went to our monthly Bible study group, um, we went to the home of a married couple, who are Puerto Rican, um, um, but they're U.S. citizens as well now. But we walked in, and everything was red, white, and blue. Everything was flags all over the dishes of food they were going to serve, red, white, and blue plates, red, white, and blue napkins, with the flag replica, and decors in their home and so forth. But it's equally the same. When you get on the topic of loving America, they glow, you know. And and again, we spent time with our doctor friends last evening, and we briefly got on the topic of America, and once again, I mean, they firmly understand and can discuss or even teach the founding of America, uh, and not just that, but where we stand today in our political system, and uh, it's a good discussion. It's a good discussion. Last week, this past week, in our Thursday night Hope for Survival Zoom meeting. Um, I kind of wanted to change course and not have so much negative material, if you will, presented. So it was kind of a meeting of hope and uplifting. And all the information that I presented was a collage of videos that I had collected from YouTube from foreigners who were in America right now attending the World Cup soccer events. And they were in LA, they were in Boston, Atlanta, Texas, to name a few. And they were from South Africa, Great Britain, um, Australia, and Germany, um, to name a few places. And they were posting videos of so many things about America that they had been lied to by the media and how much they loved being here and they didn't want to go home. Everything from the vastness of a Walmart and a Costco. They were overwhelmed with all the choices or selections that citizens have the freedom to go in and buy as they desire. The South African gentleman um, was walking the streets in Washington, D.C., and he was talking about how shocked he was that he could freely walk down the streets and he wasn't being stabbed or mugged like in his home country of South Africa. And there was another video showing a story by Francis Scott Key and the history behind the Star Spangled Banner, our national anthem. And then the singing of the national anthem at one of the soccer events. And the comments they made was they felt more drawn to the patriotism of the national anthem and the Americans' love for our flag and what it meant, and understanding the story behind Francis Scott Key and the Fort Henry attack and the survival of the American flag through the night and how it matched the words of the national anthem song. And it got me thinking more and more and more, you know. All these folks were talking about how kind and generous the Americans were in all the cities. Now, America has its problems like any other country, but I watch I watch lots of videos, and I watch them for the purpose of trying to better understand the psychological health of citizens on the streets in communities all across America. And in many cases, our youth get a bad rap um, for being different. We often forget they've been educated in a warped school system, feeding them an ideology that's different from the one we grew up on. But so many of the college age folks that are being interviewed across America, a majority of them recognize, and they all point their fingers in one direction, and that is to the media and the government. The media is the one that is not sharing the truth, and even the foreigners who were here for the World Cup have stated the same thing, that they were briefed that it may be unsafe to come to America, and there's a likelihood you could be stabbed or shot coming to America. Now, this could happen anywhere you go in the world. There's opportunists out there who are looking to take advantage of vulnerable people. Okay. But when you have a media who's circulating negative, 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 to feed a line of crap to um, tourists or even citizens, um, there's more good people than bad people, okay? And it is a media in America and often some of the foreign media who are driving this wedge between the citizens of the United States, a wedge between black and white, a wedge between religion, a wedge between socioeconomic uh, levels amongst the people, the wealthy, the poor, so on and so forth. But we've had that for many, many years. Okay? It's just now the media is driving it, and more people have access um, to the internet to go and read and do their own research to these things. So, the problem is not so much, to me, the problem is not so much the people as it is the media and the government. Okay, there was a time. There was a time, whether when I was serving in the military for 20 years, there was a time when um, no matter who is the president, I could go to sleep at night and I knew there was someone in control while we slept. And as time passed, and right around shortly after I retired, 2003 time frame period, um, that started to change, where the well-being of the American people was in the hands of the commander in chief at the helm, and the decisions that individual was making behind the back of the American people. And then when asked, we would be lied to. And for the most part, that has continued on, and oftentimes maybe it's questionable as if the commander in chief is aware that maybe he's being fed bad information by his staff and so forth. So um, it kind of leaves you shaking your head, okay? And this is where the whole hope thing is so important, because there are so many things that are going on that you don't have control of. We don't have control of. This is why I have beat the drum of the 5 mile radius in your community so hard for the past 6 years that um, I recently did a video on find your happy place, and it wasn't just words. It's surrounding yourself with people who are like you, who are like-minded people, who of good moral character, hardworking, with integrity, and people, they may not be directly in your community, but you can reach out to them through a Signal app or whatever app you may use, that you can communicate with them. But the people who are right around you, you know, um, it's so important that you find these people and you spend time with them and you build this trust and you build this bond, because the world is changing and America is changing. And while all these things are taking place, we're at war, we're at peace, we're at war, we're at peace, we have a deal, we don't have a deal. Um, we can't change these things, okay? And probably 10 or 15 years ago, I started talking about uh, the old MK Ultra, and then as technology advanced, there's more modern versions of MK Ultra, and the ability to read minds, control minds, uh, predictable programming, technocracy, AI, okay, the Internet of Things, where the control of the human is being removed and put in machines. Okay, now there's people saying it's going to be rough getting through the transition, but on the other end, life is going to be better for everyone. Well, I think that is up to each individual to decide what they determine is best for them and their family. Okay, uh, being told that you're going to need digital biometric IDs to be a part of this new system, it's totally different. But you will be part of the minority who won't have access to all these things if you don't go forth to get these IDs, okay? Medical, food, uh, banking, real estate, legal. The things that are normal in life over the past years will be in a new form, even travel. Okay, Festus and I talked about this, man, 12, 15 years ago. Uh, the freedom of travel, whether it's crossing state lines or traveling more than 20 miles from your home. Okay, the having permission, being tracked, surveillance being run on you by all the technology, um, social credit scoring. Okay, um, it's interesting that they have social credit score system in China, and yet the same system that's being built in America for that program is going to have 5 times more cameras for tracking people with much less population than China, but we're going to have 5 times more cameras tracking the American people in everything that you do. So, I haven't been able to confirm it, but I heard a couple of days ago that as early as this fall or early next year, for anyone who is not a German citizen to travel to Germany, you're going to have a digital biometric ID to enter their country. Okay, so you can see this is going to not just be in your hometown or your home state or in your country. This is going to be worldwide. They're going to know every second of every hour where you are. Okay? You can take that for what it's worth. There's more coming. Um, it's something you're going to have to decide for yourself. I found it interesting earlier, probably an hour ago. I got a phone call on my cell phone, and I looked down, and I get a lot of uh, um, spam calls from people wanting donations from groups I've donated to in the past, but I've moved to a new state. I'm retired now, and I've told them for 20 years, um, I don't donate phone. I don't donate money over the phone. And if you want a donation, you need to send it to my home address. and I'll look at the information and I'll decide. Okay, and they just keep bugging the crap out of me. Uh, but I got a phone call from the CDC immunization department, and oddly, they were doing a survey, and I first started to hang up on them, but I wanted to hear what it was about. Well, what's been in the news? What's been in the news the last few months? Should should children receive mandatory immunizations that is required to enter school systems and so forth? Okay, who should have the say as to what the child receives? Well, the survey would have gone further, but my early answers ended it, and that was um, there was no one under the age of 18 living in our household. So, and no children under the age of 5 or 6, I think it was, which um, it was interesting. The individuals knew where I lived, and they knew they were calling me on a cell phone. Um, and they wanted to make sure I wasn't driving while they asked questions. So, anyway, I'm sure many of you will probably be getting these calls as well. So, as we go into the fourth holiday and our celebration of independence in 250 years, take time to push everything aside that's bogging us down as people, and take time to give some thought to how awesome this country is, how beautiful. Um, if you've never had an opportunity to travel in America, but there's very few places around the world where you can go enjoy the mountainous areas. You can go enjoy the desert areas in the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, the parks, Mount Rushmore, up in South Dakota, Glacier in Montana. Been to all of them. Go to the swamplands of Louisiana, been there. We have it all right here in the 48, and then you can go to beautiful Hawaii or you can go to Alaska. But we have so many beautiful blessings right here in our own country. Okay, and if America is such a bad place, why are there so many thousands of people lined up wanting to come here to better their lives for their children? Okay, to give them a good life. And throughout our own history, when we were younger, that's people were doing the same thing. And that's how America became a great nation. Okay, and give it some thought. Um, we have our problems, but I can tell you the blessings and the freedoms that we have here far outweigh the negatives, the lying media, and the corruption that's throughout our top tiers. So, anyway, take care. Think happy thoughts. Um, don't let the negatives beat you down. Okay, it is beautiful out there, and we just have to kind of ride through the storm. All right, find good people around you who uplift you, who you trust, and share blessings amongst one another. I can tell you, we are so blessed with the Hope for Survival family that's throughout, and the Hope for Survival families who are right here in our neighborhood, um, and then some who are not Hope for Survival, who are absolutely awesome people. So find some for yourself. But anyway, count your blessings. Always have hope and faith. And if you like this video, please hit like and share with others, uplift them. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. Until next time, be blessed. Bravo Echo out. Thank you for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. If you are new to Hope for Survival, you can check out our books at our webpage. Book 1, which is Hope for Survival, Getting You Prepared for Disasters, and Book 2, Hope for Survival, The Mindset, are both available for order on the website. We also offer the Hope for Survival football stick, which is a memory stick set up as a digital filing cabinet with files already loaded on there for you to digitally copy items such as deeds, auto transcript for ownership, wills, living wills, loans, banking information, items that if your home burned down or you had some form of a disaster, you could have all your important papers already digitally filed on this stick. All you do is simply drag the digital file into the appropriate preset folder so that you'll have it in the event of a disaster. You have to flee your home in a hurry, or also if you're away from home and you need critical information that's personal. If you have your memory stick with you, you can put it in your computer and pull that information up wherever you may be. Again, you can find these items to order at our website, https www.hopeforsurvival.com, or you can email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com, and I will try to help you out. Again, thanks for checking out the Hope for Survival YouTube channel. Hope to see you again.